So what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below so you can get tips like this. Today what I'm going to show you how to do is build durable, cheap, and effective electric fence. Here we mob graze our cattle, so having a lane or just a single wire of electric fence that run one end of the farm to the other is a great thing. That way we can just hook onto it every day and just move them to the next paddock. It's really easy, really simple, makes it for really efficient. But when I went on YouTube to go try and find a video to see how to exactly build electric fence, because there's some nuances and there's some little subtleties and stuff that, you know, make a big difference and make it a lot more effective, I couldn't find anything. I really couldn't find any good videos, so today this is why I want to make this one to help all you guys out. So first off, what do you need? You need a brace post. Now if you're doing single wire of electric fence, you can actually probably go up to 3 wires. You can just get away with one 6.5 foot, you know, post that you can get from Tractor Supply or your local farm store or whatever. So you need this for your braces. Now to hold up the fence, you can use anything from T-posts to these good little steel rebar posts with the insulator on top, or one of my favorites, my little 67-cent fiberglass you know, snow stake that I drilled a hole through with a drill press and hold the wire up like that. Whatever you use for a post to hold up your fence, it doesn't have to be, you know, elaborate. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be as cheap as maybe a cedar little branch that you can stick in the ground, you know, maybe 8-10 inches and stick a little insulator on. That would work. Just the main thing is that you need to make sure that your cows are trained to the electric, because as long as the wire is being held up and they're trained to it, they're not going to get out. But mind you, this is for cross fencing. This is not for perimeter fence. Do I recommend this for perimeter fence? Absolutely not. If I'm going to go build perimeter fence, I'm going to go get woven wire with either a hot wire or a barbed wire on top because I want to sleep at night. For the post, what do you actually need? You need any kind of post hole digger, an auger, something like that, something to tamp with, so it's all compact and, you know, the post isn't wiggling around like crazy. Some sort of T-post driver or some sort of rubber mallet or hammer for your fiberglass posts. As far as spacing for these, as far as spacing in between each post, we're able to get away with about 25 feet. 25 feet for us seems to work pretty well. Holds up the wire pretty good. We could probably get away with 30. I don't know if we can do 35 because remember, we're just going to hand pull the wire. So as far as the wire that we're using 12.5 gauge aluminum high tensile wire. Don't go smaller, and then don't go galvanized. Make sure, okay, it's a little bit of extra cost to get the aluminum. We actually had a special order this, but it's 100% worth it because it's 4 times as conductive as the galvanized, and then it's a lot lighter too, so you're not going to get as much sag over time. It's very, very light and it's easy to work with. But once you have your post set up, you're not ready to run the wire just yet. You have to put on your insulators. For a T-post, really standard, we all know how to do that. But when it comes to a wood post or a steel post or whatever you're using, you're going to have to come up with something else. This is where I had to learn. This is some of the stuff that is going to be the most effective and helpful for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to get about a 40-inch piece of wire of your high tensile aluminum, and then you're going to take your clippers and you're going to clip it off, which is somewhere right around here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, for me it's my hand, this, I know this is 3 inches. You go 3 inches, mark a spot right here. You take your pliers, okay? Take your pliers and you take those 3 inches and you fold it over like so, to where it looks like a P or a D or whatever you want to call it. Then you're going to hold on to this, the loop, with the wire, and then you're going to twist the remaining as tight as you can do it to where it'll hold as long as it can. Do it at least 2 or 3 times. That's almost close to perfect. It could get a little bit closer right there. Now, after you're done with this, you're going to take your insulator. I like using the ceramic ones because the plastic ones break real easy. Okay, slip it on, goes on. You take this, the other end, you put it through the loop. Put it through the loop, measure out about 3 inches again. You're going to go with your pliers, and you're going to twist this over the loop of the other one. So now, looks something like this. Could be prettier, but it's effective. Okay, hold on to that, and then wrap this twice or 3 times, as tight as you can. And next thing you know, you have a finished insulator that's not going anywhere. So it should just look like this. And put it around your post. You want to go anywhere from 30 to 36 inches, depending on how tall you are, and depending on how far you want to step over your wire, if you want to turn it off or not, or how much your cows like to jump. So for me, I go about belt buckle high. I'm 6'3", so that can give you guys an idea of where I'm going with it. It's probably around 32 to 34 inches belt buckle for me. And I take a fencing staple and I like to put it over the double loop. And then put it in there. Post a little bit loose, but it's not that big of a deal because we're not pulling that much, and it's going to get hardened with the clay. Now, once you have that done, you take this right here, kind of, straighten it out a little bit, and then you flip it over itself 2 or 3 times. And next thing you know, what you have is a finished insulator, just like that. And then we just repeat the process on the other race post. No problem. And now once you have all this done, you're ready to run your wire. For us, we were at the end of a spool and wanted to see if we had enough to do this little section here, and we do, so we're just gonna kind of pretend that we ran the wire. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, make sure you go over, okay? Make sure you go over the insulator, not under, because if you go under, it can slip. Over, it can slip, but it's a lot more difficult for it to slip, okay? So we wanna go around twice, like so, and leave about 3 inches of room, maybe 4 or 5 inches of room on the end. That way we can do our wrap again. Again, you want to make this as tight as possible. This is okay, this isn't the greatest one, but it'll work, okay? Now don't miss this really important step of actually putting the wire on at least, at minimum, 50% of your post, to where you can see if there's any dips, valleys, anything else that you need to put another T-post or another, something on, because you want to make sure that this goes straight. See, like I had to put this T-post in right here, because if not, we were going to go to that post right there on a bend, on a little bit of a bend, and that can't handle a bend. And then I was actually going to cut off, about this much pasture, and that makes a difference. So what we did is we just put this one in, and then that little post right there will go and move up. It's real easy to do, and it's just a way to check your work. Now you have this end of the wire, and remember, go over, not under. Okay, so we're gonna hand tighten this kind of as tight as we can, because remember, in the winter it'll constrict, and in the summer it'll loosen. So want to get this as tight as we can. If you really want to, you could put some tensioners in here. Don't really see the need to do that for especially this just one wire. So we're just going to come across and go around the insulator twice. Now that's pretty tight, I'm happy with that. Then we're going to go and do our little tie off here, which should be no problem. Right, this one's better. That's how you do it. Remember, at least twice. Hopefully you can go 3 times with your tie off around your wire. Then you are good to go. Now that we have the main fence put up, this little section here is all the way put up to over there, which is great. Now what we have to do is we have to build our gates. This is going to be where one of our gates go. That way the cows, see them right over there, when they come through into this permanent paddock and they come in here, we have to have a way for them to get in. So what we'll do is we'll build a gate from here to here. Now gate placement is very important. You want to put the gates to where the cows have a 90-degree turn. So if you think about it, you're a cow, there's a fence right here that you can't go through, okay? Then there's going to be a gate right here that will just probably hook onto this other gate right here. And now the only place for them to go is 90 degrees this way. On the other hand, this gate that we have right here, it's in the middle of the pasture. So why are we putting it there? Because that right there leads to our driveway, and we can get equipment in here real easy, and we can just drive through this gate. We're not going to be putting cows through this gate. If we were, we would make sure that there was a wire right here to where we create a 90-degree turn for them. If you don't do that, the cows won't see the gate. They'll miss it, or some of them will miss it, or the babies will miss it. The next thing you know, you're chasing cows and it's just not a good day. So what we're going to do is build another one of these insulators here for this side going this way. And then once you build it, you just install it the same way that you did, just facing the other way. You can go a little bit higher on this if you need to, that way you're not hitting that side. Bingo. Come, twist, do it 2 or 3 times. Maybe one more. And now you're ready to go. Now what you do, you take your spool of high tensile wire, you take your electric gate handle, again, always you need about 3 inches. So you come here and you wrap this, hopefully it doesn't fall, around. You can use pliers if you need to, but you usually don't need to. And then you just tie this off like so. Get it one more. There we go. Perfect. What you want to do is you want to go quite a bit past where you think you need to go, because you want extra wire. Now here that you have your wire, again, over the top of the insulator. Okay? You want to pull this, you want to pull it as hard as you can, just by your hands. Okay? And you want to go through again. Make sure that you have quite a bit of extra wire for this. I'll explain why in a second. Okay. See, now you're going to tie off this way. Now this extra wire, it'll get in the way for a second. But you're going to use this because right now you have 2 insulators on. This can be hot, but this can't be hot because you have this right here. This can be hot or this can't be hot. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this extra, and you need at least 2 or 3 feet extra, and this is going to be your jumper. And you just wrap this around like so. Now you have a jumper wire. And what I like to do is I always like to put the jumper on the inside of the paddock. That way the cows don't get used to coming up here and feeling on this, and next thing you know they say, oh, that's not electrified, and they come over here and you could have a some sort of breakout or a break or whatever. If you keep it here, they'll come see it and still get zapped. So that's how you use a jumper to go from one electric to the other electric, and it works out really well. And actually now this whole fence is completely done. This whole fence is completely done, and all you have to do now is hook on your Energizer. Probably not on the gate. You probably want to go like right here. Make sure you don't go right here. Now the last little tip that I have for you is that when you're working with aluminum wire, or any wire at all, if you're not wearing gloves and you're sweating, don't wipe your face. Why? Because you're going to get stuff all over it. But that right there is how you build cheap, effective, and durable electric fence. It's easy. So for more tips like this, or to continue following our journey here, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell so you get notified when we put up new videos. Hit the like button because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and drop a comment if you like, alright? Until next time, see ya. Bye.